Oh, well done. Welcome. This is just a video test of the Nikon Z FC, and I'm using the microphone on the camera. I have some issues with switching off the recording button while still in still camera mode, which doesn't make sense because most of the other camera manufacturers, if you're still on shooting in camera, normal photography camera, still photography mode, and when you press the red record button, you actually can record video without thinking too much. But for the Nikon FC, I still have to switch on to the video mode in order to make use of the red button to do video, which is like a couple of steps backwards. This is something that maybe Nikon had to take a leave out from the other manufacturers. Otherwise, yes, I can actually see from the screen that there is IAF following, which is much better than Z50, which doesn't have any such things at all. And this is one thing that is way better than the Z50 in a lot of ways. Z50 feels like a work in progress, whereas the ZFC is a refinement of that. Just unfortunately, I just still feel that the FC should come in a full frame sensor rather than APS-C sensor. Having said that, really, because the people that it will be very attracted to the FC is just not the so-called young hipsters, but people who grew up in the film era, and one of the first few film cameras that we actually touched on, amongst others, and the context. You got the Canons, you definitely got the Leicas, and also Olympus, and lastly Nikon FM. The Nikon FM is an iconic camera that a lot of us old users. I have my FM. My relatives have FM too. So look at it this way: is this will appeal to those people who loves film cameras, but film doesn't come in APS-C. It comes in full frame. So a lot of the lenses that they want to use and they have got used to it is basically full frame sensors. So it's kind of a missed opportunity, I feel, for the FC. Is there but not there yet, and one of the main reasons I believed is that people are actually not really into the FC is just because it is an APS-C sensor rather than full frame sensor. Control wise, I would just say that it's slightly better than the old DSLR. If you remember the old DSLR that has the same FM, but it's so bulky, so big, it doesn't look anything like FM. So this ZFC, for us British or English, it's that the FC is more true to form, more true to the original FM camera size. And if I put it next to my FM, and it happens to me is I actually trying to find an FC and I forgot it was inside the dry box, and when I looked through the dry box, I kept thinking the FC is the FM2 and my old FM. So that was what happened. It was so funny, but it actually shows that Nikon designers for the aesthetic has really done a fantastic job to emulate what the FM looks like. Unfortunately, the experience is anything but close to the OFM. The OFM, you still have the old AIS Nikon lenses that have its aperture ring. If Nikon actually don't mind actually do lenses that have the aperture ring just for the FC, I tell you that this range of users will love it more. And maybe you can actually charge a bit more for the Z glass with the aperture ring rather than your normal Z lenses out there. Who knows? You know, these are lenses that's good for street photography, and there will be users who would love to have the FC in full frame, but with an aperture ring on their lenses. This is much better than the current way of the FC's working, is because there is a mishmash or mixed mash or a way of controlling the camera. It's like, well, I want to do something like your normal old camera, and yet because it's digital in some ways, it doesn't move. So, and when I'm trying to use the digital method of doing things, and certain manual parts of the camera also didn't move. So it's like a kind of frustrating one step, two step kind of thing, that you go one step forward but it's two steps back in a lot of ways. And when I'm shooting, so that's the main thing when it comes to this trying to find the old ways of doing things into a new digital body. This is something I think Nikon is still a work in progress when you compare to Fuji, which they actually make full use of aperture ring on their lenses, and it gives them a lot of mileage in terms of usability. And that is what I felt is like, if the FC is going to head to head with the Fujifilm, I think FC will lose it. Well, in that sense. But if they say they are going to do full frame lenses on the FC body with a full frame sensor, they have a market down there, and it's actually in some ways superior to the Fujifilm if they can solve the control mechanism on the FC that emulates more to the old cameras, which what Fujifilm body is doing right now. So this is what my thoughts about the FC right now. Any questions, just leave it in the comments below. I try to get back to you as soon as possible. See ya. This is Wilson. I'm out.